Joining us right now is former Republican presidential candidate and former Texas Governor Rick Perry. Governor, great to see you.
Good to be with you, Maria.
Thanks so much for joining us. What's your takeaway on the race so far?
Well, people are starting to pay attention now. So that's, Labor Day is the day that things really start happening. People are learning about them. This is a job interview. And right now, Hillary's not impressing the people that are going to be making the decision about who they're going to hire to be the president. I mean, this issue with these servers, these emails, we know for a fact that there is an Iranian who lost his life because of them. Who else? Either young men and women in the military who some secret piece of information that individuals got their hands on have lost their lives, are in jeopardy of losing their lives today because the Clintons decided they wanted to play fast and loose with this information. I mean, this is serious stuff. I mean, this is not just, oh, we didn't want to hear me talk about somebody that was overweight and be embarrassed with our emails. This is about national security. For those of us that served in the military, I mean, this is prosecutable type activities. I mean, this is the kind of stuff you get court-martialed for if you leave a piece of secret information on a desk and they're out there, passing all this information around. I mean, this is incredibly disturbing for those of us that care about the security of this country. And then
there's the Clinton Foundation situation. A lot of the emails are revealing this connection. But let me turn to immigration and Donald Trump for a second, because obviously in Texas you've got lots to say about this. He's set to deliver a major speech on immigration tomorrow. Rumors are circulating that the candidate's planned wall on the U.S.-Mexican border could actually be a virtual wall. What's your take on what we will hear? Trump tweeted on the issue this morning. He says, here's his tweet: "From day one, I said that I was going to build a great wall on the southern border and much more. Stop illegal immigration. Watch Wednesday."
Yeah, and I understand what he's doing. Donald Trump cares about making sure that Americans know that they're going to be safe, that whether we're in a studio in New York City or whether we're in a restaurant in Laredo, Texas, that we don't have to worry about our safety. And how you do that, building that wall, I've said all along that it requires a lot of different pieces. Yes, actually a physical wall in places. There's the technology, there's the aviation assets, there's the boots on the ground. Donald Trump, and those that want to deflect off of, oh, you're not exactly building, 1,862, have your conversation. Those of us that know that border and know what's required to make our citizens safe are going to be with Donald Trump.
Has has this so-called softening on immigration been confusing to voters, do you think? Has that affected him much, or is that not really a big issue?
Listen, 24/7 news cycle, you got to have a lot of things to talk about. I understand that. And Donald Trump
don't
wants
blame the media now.
I knew that was coming. I knew that was coming.
Don't get confused about keeping this country secure with trying to split hairs here. The issue is he understands we've got a broken immigration system. Fix it so that you get the people into this country that you want. The ones that have come in here, overstayed visas, the bad people that have penetrated and stayed here, track them down, get them out of this country. Nobody's confused about that. Hillary Clinton, best I can tell, wants open borders. Donald Trump wants to keep this country safe. And I remind people, I said, listen, don't get confused here, folks. Keep this simple. Donald Trump, Hillary Clinton, Supreme Court.
But people who are connected to Donald Trump, though, on the issue of immigration solely, part of his plan was, I'm going to deport the 11 million people who are here, and he's leaving a little bit of room, at least in some of the comments, which have been muddled, to keeping some of those individuals here. He left that door open ever so slightly, and the central question is that necessarily a bad thing?
Well, Mayor Giuliani and I discussed it as late as last week when Mr. Trump was in Texas. And we both think, it makes sense to have a conversation about people that have been here for a long time, been paying taxes, been a part of this society, have proven that they would make good American citizens. Let's figure out how to help them become American citizens. But the idea we're going to round them up and send them back home is just nonsense. And people understand that. Listen, again, the simplicity of where we are right now, the difference between Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton is day and night. And if you want to fall off the wagon trying to split a hair, then maybe you weren't that much in the saddle to begin with.
So I think it's really interesting that the polls have changed so much over the last 3 weeks about Donald Trump used to lead on immigration, he used to lead on national security, and it's evening up. So what do you think he has to do now to change that?
Just keep being Donald Trump. I'm not.
So he's not making mistakes in the way he's communicating this? Is that why maybe they're evening out?
I don't think so. I just think this was always going to be a close race. And when you get down to post Labor Day, people are really going to get focused in on this. And again, Donald Trump, Hillary Clinton, Supreme Court appointment. If you can't figure that one out, then I can't help you.
Let me turn to the other battles that we're seeing, because we're looking at the battle for Capitol Hill right now. Several key primaries taking place today, including tight races for some D.C. staples like Senator John McCain. Do you think we will see some upsets here?
Well, I don't have any idea. This has been as out of the ordinary election cycle as certainly I've ever seen. I thought, people would be looking for somebody who had run the 12th largest economy in the world, done it rather successfully. And, and I tell people, when I tell Donald this on a regular basis, I said, look, you weren't my first choice. I was my first choice. but with that said, this is a very different election cycle. Some upsets would not surprise me.